Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Saved by Grace podcast. I'm Cameron,
I'm Ashley.
and this is going to be episode numero uno. It's going to be about emotions. We kind of went back and forth before the episode about what was one of the first things that we noticed about our recovery, and it kind of ended up falling back on emotions throughout the conversation. So I'll let her kind of start off and tell you guys where we're headed with this, but thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. So, when I first got clean, learning to regulate my emotions was a huge deal for me because I had never been taught healthy coping mechanisms. I had no idea, literally, just thrown into the dark. And so I did go to rehab, and I was very thankful to learn, kind of where to start with that. But honestly, it didn't help that much because having to sit in your feelings, you could read a manual and it still just doesn't prepare you to have to deal with them because you get, balls thrown at you from left field, something new every day, a new feeling that you're not used to because you've been numbing out for so long. And, you could have all the advice in the world and all the directions in the world telling you how to do it, and it's still just nothing can prepare you for how hard it's going to be, honestly.
I agree with that.
And sitting with myself and facing my emotions, it was very challenging. I don't know, and all your senses are really heightened because you're so used to not feeling anything. So
You're numbing for so long.
Exactly. So I think that was probably the hardest for me in the beginning, and not knowing who I was. I had lost my entire identity. So, just kind of finding myself and all that. That was very hard for me.
Right. I agree. Luckily, I was placed into an outpatient rehab where we had 4-hour classes 3 times a week, and we learned a lot about emotions, and it was kind of tough for me to talk about them and learn about, like, everyone always was able to share such good things about why they feel happy or how they know they're getting angry, and I never was really able to do that. I don't know if I just never have still gotten good at identifying them or what, but with Jesus in my life, I'm starting to learn how to identify that. He gave me a baseline of joy, of happiness. So, like, being able to pivot from joy, knowing that you're at joy and peace already, then it makes it easier for me to identify some of those other ones because I know what peace feels like. I know what happiness feels like, at least. You know what I mean? And I think that's really big in recovery in the very beginning. Like she was saying, you numb yourself so much, and a lot of people do what they do to escape the pain. I mean, some people
100%.
don't even know what drugs are until something traumatic happens in their life and somebody offers them, and it seems like the devil's always right there. Here you go. Here's a way to escape that. Oh, you don't want to feel that? Here you go.
Always.
I mean, it's just it's weird to think about how I guess, like, poignant the devil always is with some way to save you when you don't realize what you really need for saving. So the emotions for me were kind of hard. Another part of it that was really hard, I know that Ashley spoke about this in our kind of conversation before the episode, was reintegrating yourself to society and not knowing who you are, first of all. And I mean, you got to learn that all over again. And I mean, you're a good person. You know what you want to do. You got a vision for yourself.
Right. You know what you want to be.
Right.
You just don't want to be what you were at all.
Anything but that, right?
Right.
And so whenever you start going into society and trying to, like at a doctor's office, like, or at the DMV or some place where people are real professional. I mean, take that away
real
from the
people-y.
DMV, but you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. Like,
love that place.
You don't even know how to act. You're sitting with yourself and you're trying not to look weird or feel weird or bring attention to yourself.
What do I do
reason.
with my hands?
Yeah, right. So that I feel like that's a big one. Like, that's one that can discourage a lot of people.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're still new in your emotions and don't even really know how to handle them, and then you're going out and feeling anxious and feeling weird in front of all these people, like you don't belong,
Exactly.
like you don't matter,
and like you're so different.
Right, and no one's gonna understand, and it's just it was a weird one for me. I got lucky, like I said, I did the court order drug court, so we reintegrated slowly with a group. We were all together. We were all, one harmonious, laugh out loud
for
group.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, it was supposed to be that, but everyone's different, and everyone. I mean, we all loved each other. We did great, actually. I mean, most of us made it through.
To see the change in him, like you, oh my gosh, that was crazy because you were so far gone. I mean, we both were at one point, but just and it happened slowly because it was over, the course of years. But man, it was big. It was big. It was awesome.
Man, that's what that program. I mean, it saved my life, and until I was born again in Christ way after this program, like. And then whenever that happened to me and I started hearing the Holy Spirit speak to me and you start seeing how God works and you start realizing that all of these things that they taught us in this program, like you can go down the list one to the next was really in that Bible. And if you'd have picked that Bible up a little bit sooner, then you would have been able to see. But some people ain't trying to hear it from the Bible. Some people, I mean, it's probably a spirit keeping you away from it. I don't know, but there's some things that keep you from opening that Bible, and whether it's your shame, whether it's your guilt, I don't know, but I do know that hearing it laid out in a scientific way. For me, I'm always got a see, touch, feel kind of person. Maybe that's
tangible.
Right. That's why I strayed so far from God for so long, probably. But that program definitely made it real. It made everything. It laid out each thing in a way that was digestible for a person who just wanted reasoning and understanding and then see how it works type of thing, you know what I mean? So I do appreciate it being laid out like that, but I kind of wish that there would have been a little bit more God back then. Might have saved me from the last couple of years myself, but...
Right. Well, I know that he has a plan, and no matter what, you're right where you're supposed to be. Right. You needed to go through all that, and he was right there the whole time, so, and when you realize that, and like I said earlier, how I sat with myself and my feelings, and I was never alone. I felt like I was so many times, and I could never get clean because I didn't like to be alone. I did not like it. I had always had friends, my people that I used with, and they cared about me, just because I didn't have to be alone. So every time I tried to get clean, that was a big issue for me, having to be alone and sit with myself. And I would just go right back out, especially when I had to feel the feelings or go to the DMV or anywhere, like you were saying, just going out in public sober and trying to do life again. As someone who's been using for years, you're just so thrown off because for me, I didn't even know how to have a conversation with someone. Like, they have all these successes and they're whatever they're doing with their families and their businesses or whatever they're doing. And here I am, like, just been in the trap.
4 days sober.
Yeah, like, just came from the trap house. Like, what are you good at? I don't know. Smoking cigarettes and sitting, doing drugs all day. Like, I don't know. That's what I was doing all day, every day. And the conversations that I was having with people were doing the same thing as me, so we really weren't really doing anything worthy of speaking on, and I don't know, so it was just hard for me to feel normal in a sober society or society period. So
I don't know that our society is sober.
Yeah, facts.
Or normal, so I think that we're both doing great where we're at.
Yeah, true.
I will say that one of the things that I heard, or maybe I just, maybe made it up myself, but what I like to say is you need to feel what you feel and not how you feel. And that was a big one for me because I told you I struggled a little bit with the emotions and really knowing how to identify each one and why is my heart racing? Is it anger? Is it anxiousness? Is anxiety or whatever? So I really had to learn how to feel what I felt and not how I felt. So like, for instance, if I was angry, that's how I feel. I feel angry. I know I'm mad. You know what I mean? I know I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at my mom or whoever, whatever it is.
Right.
I had to learn how to feel why or what I was really feeling. Like
what it derived from.
Yeah, like, and that helped me a lot because then I wasn't so angry at that person or even the world anymore. Like then it kind of makes it more real to yourself and to kind of give you, I guess, a way to battle back. Like you don't feel so helpless whenever you realize that if I can just figure this out in here, then everything's gonna be okay out there. Because it's really all right in here. It's in my head. It's in my, you know what I mean? I'm the one freaking out for whatever reason.
I love that. That's huge.
And so that really helped me a lot. And I know that we kind of took different paths to it. So with me having all those classes and everything, I know that she may have had a different, viewpoint on emotions. So I'd like to kind of hear what really helped you, get control of them again or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So honestly, having to set an example for my daughter, because I know she can't see me with my emotions all out of whack because she's feeding off of that. We're kind of in tune, so whatever I'm feeling, she's in turn going to feel as well. Even as a baby, they're so in tune, and that was it for me. Like I had no time to do anything but act accordingly and be a mother, and that was my purpose, and I knew that, and I prayed to God for the first time in rehab, and I asked him, if you would let me be a mother, if you will let me try. I don't want to go too far off. So I pretty much told him that I would give it my all, that I would do the best I can as a mother, and I knew I had to do that whenever she was placed with me, and I didn't have to do a case plan or anything. We came and we lived with my grandma and you, and that was it. I just dove head first and haven't looked back. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect.
Yeah, I mean, none of us are, guys. So if you're thinking you're going to strive for that, good luck. But we'll be here whenever you realize you're not.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I had to learn. So I'm learning just as much, from her as she is from me, honestly. And that's it. That's how I did it.
That's
obviously
awesome.
Not everybody's going to have that opportunity. So, but that is my viewpoint on it.
Right. And I know that, she's had some other struggles that we'll get to at another time when she feels comfortable. But I know that for her to make that decision and to really come to terms with God that this was for this child, I know that was big for her. And I know that was really tough for her. So the fact that helped her with her emotions was definitely just an afterthought and a bonus. You know what I mean? Because it did so much more for her than that. I will say that.
Thank you.
Another thing that I would like to touch on here is surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. And right. And like I said, I kind of got thrown into that, so I didn't really have a choice. We had our drug court class. It was a tight-knit group of people. We all went through it together, but even with that, I still found more people through 12-step programs, through an organization called Cocaine's Anonymous, which cocaine was not my DOC, which drug of choice, but there was some people in there who really just got it. They understood what was going on, and it was awesome, man, to find people like that and see the people with 25 years sobriety and the people with 35 years sobriety, and they've been doing it since the 80s, and they're still in that room to that day, and they're trying to help somebody like me. That even to this day still gives me goosebumps that there's people like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's almost one of the reasons why I strive to do that. I actually was heading meetings back in drug court. I was every Monday was my meeting, you know what I mean? I was one of those guys that was just trying to be a leader and show everyone in drug court that, yeah, it's monotonous, they're making us do this, but we're gaining something from it, man.
Right.
Like, here I am, I'm going to show you, watch, I'll lead it. What do y'all want to talk about tonight? And I'd get up with my friends and we'd all make it feel like more of a homey thing. Make it feel like we were more than just showing up to a meeting and not really,
right.
you know what I mean?
Just here because you had to be.
Right, and I think that helped us a lot. So
yeah, once you started doing that, you could see the light just slowly start coming back into your eyes. You're like, you were gaining your purpose.
Yeah.
You know?
I've always loved helping people.
Oh, for sure.
In anything, really.
And you're good at it.
I try to be. So that's a big one, man. And wherever you got to find them, if it's church for you and your family, if it's your family, if it's, some old friends you lost touch with, if it's a completely new group of people, if you got to go to a 12-step program yourself, I really, really would say that you need to find some like-minded people. And by like-minded, I mean people trying to stay sober, people trying to stay clean. There's a difference between clean and sober. So you don't want to get lost up in that gray area of, I got some clean friends. You want the sober friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the people that are trying. They're doing their best every day. They're putting their best foot forward. They're helping. They're reaching back out. They're teaching. I mean, those are the people. If you can surround yourself with even just 2 or 3 people like that, I mean,
here we are.
Yeah, here's 2. You know what I mean? And hopefully, as this grows, we can have some more people on to try to talk to you about maybe how they can help you or give you a different view of the types of people that they hung out with. I mean, obviously everyone's friends groups are different, and everyone's everybody's got different interests and whatever. But I mean, develop a hobby, man. If you like bowling, go bowl. If you like golfing, go golf. You're gonna find good people everywhere. So I mean, I just recommend going out and looking, and not feeling discouraged at any time. Hopefully, if you get discouraged, you can reach out here, and maybe if you're in the Florida area, we can pinpoint you to some places, get you back on track.
And we plan on doing some lives, going live, and basically having like a, not necessarily a 12-step meeting situation, but, something like that where we can talk freely and just a safe space. If you guys want to ask questions or anything, just a community or a family,
Right. I will say that anything you guys tell us or reach out to us to talk about is going to be completely anonymous. We'll definitely withhold your anonymity here, and we'll move from there. That's kind of like where we were able to grow. When you get in those rooms and you can be as open as you want, and you can just really talk, and you're sitting around a bunch of other people who understand exactly where you're coming from, and you just feel so much more relaxed and able to truly open up, and only through that are you going to be able to, like we say, experience these emotions and figure out what they are, get to the root of your problem. I mean, that's big for your recovery, is getting somewhere with someone where you feel like you can really truly open up.
Exactly, because holding it in, it's not where it's at.
No. That's why we got we're kind of following some bullet points here. You can excuse my notepad, you know what I mean? We're not very good at this yet, but
yes, we are.
We want to hit on that you need to be reaching out, and whether that's us, whether that's your family, just find a person a non-judgmental character in your life that you can talk to.
Supportive.
Right.
Support system is vital in recovery.
True that. And make sure you use them. That's why I say reach out. Just make sure you use them, because these people that you place in your life are going to have your best interest at heart, and they're going to want to know. They're going to worry about you. They're going to love you. You know what I mean? And if you don't have anyone, and if you're scared to find someone, talk to Jesus first, because Jesus, you can reach out to him anytime.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Open the Bible, read a little bit. Just seek and you shall find. So he's waiting anyway with open arms. So, I mean, you don't have to put your faith in humanity, or if you don't trust people, or if you're a agoraphobiac, don't want to go outside, I don't know. I mean, just find a way, because there is a way, and it's going to help you, and that's all we want for you.
Amen.
I'll let you hit on this one with the next bullet point we got. Getting past the feeling that no one understands what you're going through.
Okay. Are we past that? No, I'm just playing.
I am now, finally.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's been a long time.
No. Honestly, there's so many hurdles. So this is a big one. And in the beginning, that's how you feel. You just feel like nobody can possibly understand what I've been through. And you would be so surprised. Even people that are not recovering addicts are going through something similar. It may not be exactly the same down to the letter, but they are going through something. We all have struggles. We all feel sad, mad, confused. There's so much going on in this world. It's easier to find somebody that... What am I going with that? Maybe cut that part out. Oh, okay, I lost it. I gotta hop back on.
You got it.
I totally lost it, dude. I don't know where that was going.
What I can say about... I'll stay until she picks back up. What I can say about it is that someone understands somewhere. No matter how you feel, like that's what getting in them rooms, that those Cocaine Anonymous meetings really, like I said, opening up, and that's what really it showed me, is that there was people there with a lot of understanding. And even though they did their stuff in the 80s in the crack epidemic or whatever, and I was going through it in the 2010s or whatever, it was no different. It was like, you still did the same things. I mean, I didn't steal for my habit. I was just not that type. I did other things like an idiot. But if you stole, they stole. If you lied, they lied. If you cheated, they cheated. If you manipulated, they manipulated.
Guaranteed,
and it was all in that room. Like, no matter where you came from, somebody sitting there was like, I hear you, brother. And they were able to tell you how it got better for them and how to forgive yourself and all kinds of things, man. And that's why I feel like that shouldn't even be a thought, that no one understands. I know it's gonna be, because everyone goes through it. I know
it's the biggest thought. That's why you don't want to open up initially. Is like, you just have so much guilt and shame that you feel like no one could possibly have done the things you've done. Nobody could possibly understand why you did it, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
They really do.
They probably coined the phrase back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But at first you just can't grasp that anybody could possibly be as bad as you, because you just feel like the absolute worst, when you're at that low.
Right. Yeah, that's actually true. I definitely believe that to be true. Because I mean, we'll get on forgiveness in another episode, but forgiveness is a big one, and that's one of those things, like, comes with the shame and the guilt and everything, and that's a big one. But we'll leave that for another episode. One more thing I want to leave you guys with is that that I find to be probably the most important part of this emotional thing. I told you at the beginning, is to get in touch with your higher power. For us, that's God. That's Jesus. That's who saved me, anyways. And
me too.
So that's how I was able to, I told you, regulate my emotions with the joy and having that peace, that benchmark of what normal felt like, or was supposed to feel like, what God intended for normal to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So without ever getting in touch with my higher power, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even that long ago. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say she found God right into her sobriety. I did not. You know what I mean? I thought I had it all by myself. I've just always been that type. You know what I mean? I thought, but anybody can figure it out, it's me.
I remember talking to you about it, about finding my faith and stuff, and just kind of seeing where you stood and everything. And I don't know, I really didn't have nobody else to talk to that was an addict at that period of time, about that, or that I trusted anyway. And I just remember you saying, I really feel like I am God. And I was like, okay. And like, that's how far out there,
that's
you
that
were.
New Age Christianity stuff, man. They really get you believing you can manifest something for yourself. You can believe it, speak it, live it, and all that stuff. That's not true, man. All that stuff is true, but it's a different way. If you open the Bible and read, Proverbs or something like that, you'll see how to do all that.
Right.
That God will give you your desires if you're a righteous person.
Exactly.
And, you know what I mean? But to me, I just thought, I could do it, man. Everything I ever wanted, I went and got. You know what I mean? But I didn't. God was giving it to me and letting me feel stupid about it. You know what I mean? But I just thought that was interesting, to say the least, that New Age Christianity thing. Hopefully we can get people away from that, because while they are, like let's name, like, who, Joel Osteen or something? Like, isn't that mega church pastor?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he thinks you can manifest wealth and all this and that. That's not what God intended for us, I don't believe. But
Yeah.
that's not to say it can't be done.
Right.
But it needs to be done in righteousness through glorifying
exactly.
God and things of that nature.
Not just for the pure intention of, just to be wealthy,
right.
for yourself and for I don't know. If you do anything with ill will and if you don't have a pure heart and good intentions, it's gonna be of evil, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it can probably be done, but not without God.
Right. He's gonna give you what you want, but mostly what you need. And if you never get what you want, just know you had exactly what you needed the whole time. But that's gonna be the biggest one for me is about emotions, anyways, for sure. I mean, and probably with the whole, thing of getting sober. I mean, that's probably the biggest one for me, anyways. But
right.
It's to get in touch with your higher power. And when I was in them 12-step meetings in them rooms, I mean, they taught us it could be a doorknob. They did. That's what they told us, because you get people coming in there fresh off of drugs and off the streets, and they don't want to hear nothing about God. They don't feel like they done messed up their whole life. And how did God let them get in this position? How did God take them from their family? And how did God take their kids away? And everyone's so mad at God at the beginning in your recovery. And so they tell you just find something to hold a standard to yourself,
right.
Because if you're not living for something, if you don't have someone to put you in check, basically,
hold you accountable.
Hold you accountable. If you don't have somebody at least to that you want to make proud, then it's tough. It's a tough road, treacherous path. Anything else you want to add on this emotions topic?
I think that summed it up in a good way.
Okay. Well, if we think of anything, guys, you can leave messages in the comments. Let us know kind of some feedback. Let us know how you think we're doing. This is kind of a bare bones setup here. By no means are we, production studio or anything like that. But this is how we're going to try to get our message out for the time being. Anyways, guys, with that being said, this is episode 1 of the Saved by Grace podcast. Thank you for coming out. We love you.
Peace, love, smiles.